welcome. Okay, I'm gonna do these three, and then you're gonna be happy. Okay, so solve the inequality and graph it on a number line. So first we have to solve, and we're solving for x. So I'm gonna maybe write that here. Solve for x, and we have an inequality. And so what I'm gonna do, instead of like railroad tracks, I'm gonna leave that, but I'm just gonna be mindful that my sign is facing this way, also that it's greater than or equal to. So I'm not gonna graph anything yet. I'm almost gonna actually cover that up. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna solve for x. Step 1, +1 on both sides. +1, +1. So my next line is 4x greater than or equal to 20. So this is the same exact thing as solving with an equation, except I have an inequality symbol, or croc sign, is that what we called it? All right, so I need to divide here, so I'm going to divide by 4. So same thing, right? Back to purple. So I have x is greater than or equal to the number 5. Okay, great. So this is my solution. Within this is so many solutions. This is just the smallest possible one. So now I'm gonna graph it. What I like to do is I like to put my boundary point in the middle. So this is 5. So this would be 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'm just skipping everyone. And this is x, yeah? So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, -1. So I just want to sort of spread it out. I don't want to crowd this number line. Okay, so I know that my boundary point is 5. So I'm going to put a dot there, a circle. Because it has the line underneath, that means that it's also equal to. Okay, great. Halfway there. So now I'm going to choose 2 test points to make sure I know which way my arrow goes. You might already know, you're like, well, I know that 7 is greater than 5. It has to go this way. Great, but let's show that mathematically. Okay, so I'm going to test. So I'm going to choose a number over here, a really nice number that's over here, 0. So I'm going to say x is 0. So here I'm allowed to say x is 0 because I'm going to plug it in. So I have to plug it into my original. So I'm going to say 4 times 0, that's minus, oops, -1 is greater than or equal to 19. So in blue, 0 minus 1. Oh no, this is not true. Sorry, it's not. So this is false. So this idea that is that a valid point is not. So it's not going this way. By default, it probably goes this way, but we're going to prove that with mathematics. Okay, so I'm going to test the other side. This is going to be really important when we get to our xy axis. Okay, another number that's nice to multiply by is 10. 10's right here. So I'm going to say let x be 10. In my original, so instead of 4x, I have 4 times 10 now. -1, is that bigger than or equal to 19? Okay, 40 minus 1, 39. Okay, great. This is fantastic. This is great news. So this is a true statement. So this works. Yeah? So if I was thinking about is this a true solution? It is. So I'm going to do a squiggly. My arrow is going this way. Draw a little arrowhead here. Yeah? Okay, cool. Fantastic. So your test is sort of acting like your check. Notice that I didn't pick my boundary point. So you have to test with something other than your boundary point. So maybe I'm going to write that here. I'm just going to say do not test with boundary point. and that is x equals 5. Like if I plug that in, this is true, but it's not going to help me know which direction to go. Okay, cool. So let's look at one of these. So same thing. I've got an inequality. Here I don't have equal to, so be mindful of that. So we're going to solve it the same way. Okay, so I'm going to add 3 to both sides. So then I'm left with negative 6x less than 18. Last thing we have to do is divide by negative 6, divide by negative 6. X is less than negative 3, right? Okay. So my boundary point is now negative 3. So same thing, I'm going to set that up in the middle. So this would be like negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6, negative 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Yeah, so we're just spacing it out. All right, so I know my boundary point is negative 3. So I'm going to put a dot on the number line. So notice that I'm on the number line instead of like above it, on it. Oh dear, I've got low power. Okay, we're cool, we're chilling. So I'm going to do my test points now. So remember that I'm not going to test with my boundary point. No, because that will just give me like, I'll be here. That's not helpful. Okay, so test number 1, I'm going to do in pink. So I'm thinking about like testing like this side of the boundary point. Test. So I'm going to try to do a nice number. I'm going to choose 6 because 6 times 6 is 36 and I know that. So I'm going to say x equals negative 6. Okay, so I want to know like, is this a feasible solution? So negative 6 times negative 6 minus 3, is that less than 15? Positive 15. Negative 6 times negative 6 is positive 36. Take away 3 is 33. 15. Okay, so this doesn't work. Nope, not a solution. So that means it goes over here, right? But I'm going to test it. Let's use blue. Okay, so I'm going to use 0 because I like to multiply by 0. Okay, so I'm taking my original negative 6, 0, minus 3, less than 15. So that's 0 minus 3. So negative 3 is less than 15. That's true, right? So I was like curious about this. That works. So that means my arrow goes this way. So I'm going to do a pink one. So I'm going to do a squiggle with a big arrowhead. Okay, here's the thing though. This says x is less than negative 3, which was over here. But that wasn't an actual solution. So this is wrong. Don't you just love math? Here's what it needs to be. So if this is negative 3, right? And my solutions are over here, it needs to be greater than negative 3. So x is actually over here, right? So up above, right, like here was 5, and x was greater than or equal to 5, right? So here's 5. X is literally all of these points, any of them. Here I'm saying that x needs to be bigger than negative 3, but my algebra gave me less than. So this was less than, which is wrong. I know, it's crazy. So here's the thing. The correct one is x is greater than negative 3. I'm going to say correct. And this has to do with flipping the symbol. So we have to flip the croc sign. Oh dear. Since we divided by a negative. Okay, that's a lot. You're okay. I'm going to do yellow. Ooh, this is brave. So, draw your picture. 7 is exactly the same, so I want you to try 7 now on your own. And I recommend keeping this in mind. Yeah, so this is my crocodile sign. But doing your test to make sure that you have the correct direction and then seeing if it matches what you found algebraically. If not, it's probably because you divided by a negative, right? Like that. Oh, sorry. It's tape. It's crazy that this works. And it's all because this double negative, right? Like this negative is important. Okay, so try number 7. And I'm going to check that you have these notes down for classwork. Okay, bye.